Hello sacred beings and welcome to my channel. Today I have a very special video for you. We are going to be talking all about the Mintakan Starseeds from planet Mintaka. As you can tell, I am dressed for the occasion because the main beings that live on this planet are the mer people, the merfolk, that's right. So I have an announcement to make that you will see in this video, or you will hear in this video. So stay tuned for that. But the main topics we're going to cover talking about the Mintakans are the history about their planet, some of the traits if you are one, markings in your birth chart. So I have specific markings that I found that you will have in your birth charts if you are a Mintakan starseed. And then lastly, some of their gifts, mission, and life purpose here on Earth. So if you are interested in this type of stuff and you want to be part of our spiritual community and growing together on our sacred journeys, then please subscribe. But let's get started because like I said, I'm so excited because I have something to share with you guys. It might get emotional, so let's go. So, if you are attracted to crystal clear bodies of water, or just water in general, so any body of water, if you love and you're fascinated with marine animals, if you're curious about everything and you just like to learn new things, if you have an overwhelming sense of empathy and compassion for Mother Earth and her inhabitants, then you are most likely a Mintakan starseed. Those are just a few traits that you are a Mintakan, but we're going to go deep, so stay tuned. So let's get started with the history of planet Mintaka. So, planet Mintaka is located within the Orion's belt. So it's within the Orion's constellation. It's the furthest star on the right side. One of the things I thought was fascinating before I even knew about Mintakans is this is the star that I would always look at in the night sky. More specifically, I would look at Orion's belt, and we will get a little more into that, but now I know why, and you will know why too. So most likely if you are a Mintakan, you are probably also an Orion, so you are a hybrid since you're within the Orion constellation. So if this whole time you thought you were Orion starseed, you may actually be a Mintakan hybrid. So the planet Mintaka, also known as Artuvia, is almost 100% water. So this is another almost 100% water-bodied planet. And the inhabitants are the mer people, whales, dolphins, and all other sorts of sea creatures. So there are lots of videos out there online describing the beautiful description about planet Mintaka. So I don't want to get too much into that because I have other things, super special things to share with you. So I'm just going to skip over some of the generic stuff you can find online about this planet. But a couple things is that the water on planet Mintaka is pristinely crystal clear. So you can see through the water to the very bottom. You can see everything, miles of visibility. It's the most crystal clear water. And it's like basically a paradise, like a tropical paradise. The beings there, the mer people, obviously they could breathe underwater and air, so they can also walk on land because there is a little bit of land, but it's mostly water planet. So everyone and everything on this planet loved each other. There was basically no war, no cruelty. The weather was always perfect, tropical, and full of light and positivity. Sounds like heaven to me. They say that this planet was made inhabitable by negative entities or beings, or that one of their two suns, something happened to make the planet uninhabitable. So a lot of things online say that it was destroyed, but it can never really be destroyed if you remember that we are multi-dimensional beings and there are multiple timelines. So in a different timeline, those negative entities or the sun never destroyed the planet. It is still flourishing and still a paradise there on Mintaka. So you can definitely still visit it within the different dimensions and different timelines. So those Mintakas who were on the timeline, so the timeline of me talking to you, this current reality for us, when it became inhabitable, the Mintakans had to flee, or they all fled their planet, and they saw Earth, and they saw the blue water, and they're like, oh, that has a lot of water, let's move to Earth. And it said that the Mintakans were also some of the first beings that started the Atlantis or Lemuria. So I have other videos about that, which you can check out, Atlantis and Lemuria, but they're saying these are also some of the beings that were there because, as I talked in that video, there was a lot of different beings who had to flee and liked being underwater or around water. So let's move on to the traits. If you are a Mintakan Starseed, there are many traits online, so I'm going to quickly go through them because I have something beautiful to share with you. So, Mintakans are so beautiful, rare, compassionate, and wise old souls. They are one of the first inhabitants on planet Earth, and it's believed that their souls started reincarnating 70 to 75,000 years ago. That's how old their souls are. In my previous Starseed videos, I know a lot of you have resonated or had multiple markings. So if you resonate with the Mintakans and everything I'm going to talk about in this video, and you have multiple markings, including the ones I'm going to give you, then you're probably a Mintakan because they've lived so long and they have traveled to so many different places. For example, when I first started looking into starseeds and I posted my first ever starseed origin video because I was curious and then I shared that with you guys, that was 1 year ago. I thought that I was an Epsilon Eridanian, even though I couldn't even pronounce it. So I thought that was weird. If it's my home, I should confidently know how to pronounce my home's planet name. But I knew I was an Orion as well because I had a lot of Orion markings in my chart. But after discovering other starseeds, including Mintakan, I am 100% sure that I am a Mintakan starseed. And I will try not to get emotional in this video because so much of it resonates with me. And when I first discovered them, I knew right away in my intuition and soul that that is where I came from. And you'll see why as well when I share what I'm about to share with you. So let's continue with the traits. So you love water, any type of water, especially crystal clear bodies of water. So I'm going to show you how that I resonate with Mintakans. I am a scuba dive master. I've been scuba diving and underwater for a lot of my life. So I thought that was really weird. Another one is you're born or raised on a tropical island, or you're drawn to them, or you now live in a tropical island. I was born in Key West, Florida, on an island, a tropical warm island surrounded by water. Key West is made out of coral. The island underneath, like the ground, is all coral. Another one. So you are drawn to or connected to sea creatures, especially dolphins, mermaids, whales, or turtles. So this is crazy because I went to school for marine biology. That was my topic. I wanted to discover new creatures. I wanted to be around the water. I was fascinated with the ocean. And my dad was a fisherman. So growing up in Key West, my dad was a fisherman. I would go out on the boat with him when he pulled his lobster traps, crab traps, because I would be fascinated with the creatures or octopus or weird like sea anemones that were stuck to his traps. And we would put them in a little like saltwater live well is what it's called. It gets flushed with fresh salt water, and we would like examine them and then release them, and I loved that part of his job. And another weird thing is that I have a starfish tattoo, waves on the side of my hip tattoo. I have a conch shell, which is just a shell on my foot, a tattoo, because when you're from Key West, the locals are called conchs. And then I love drawing like sunsets and bodies of water, and I painted this. And then I have like this little seashell necklace, and I make seashell jewelry, and I have this dolphin ring. So this is just all very crazy to me. Another thing is I volunteered at 2 aquariums when I was younger and in college. One of them was the aquarium in Clearwater, Florida, with Winter, the dolphin with the prosthetic tail. So I was just loved to be around sea life. And then scuba diving or snorkeling, I would snorkel with sharks, just because they would be around, because sharks live in the ocean. So I would swim with sharks and not be afraid. I would swim with turtles. I would be amazed if we were riding on the boat and seeing the dolphins like jump against the boat. Who isn't fascinated by dolphins? But the craziest thing that I resonate, and if you are one, you will have dreams about dolphins or the ocean or mermaids or being underwater. And this is what I wanted to share with you guys. This is crazy what I'm about to share with you. So, for as long as I can remember, I've always had dreams of breathing underwater. In like dark pools in the ocean, just in my dreams, I was able to easily breathe underwater, which I thought was very unique. And who breathes underwater? Mermaids. Oh, this is a mermaid dress. When I went to Disney World with my sister and my niece, I wore this dress with little mermaid Mickey ears. So this is what is crazy. So ever since, for the longest time, I always have a dream of swimming in the water or being at my grandma's house where I learned how to swim. So in Key West, my grandma has very shallow, like where you would pull up a boat. It's very shallow and it goes into the ocean. So you can be standing on it and still be in the water. And she taught me how to swim by throwing like big bricks into the water. And I would swim out to her and she'd do another brick to swim a little further. I'm already getting emotional. And I have a mermaid cup that my mom gave me. So it's just these things that will show you where your home planet is. So a recent dream I've been having is at my grandma's house in my dream, where I learned how to swim, dolphins would start showing up. And I would be swimming with dolphins in my dream, which I have never done in real life. I've always wanted to, but I don't agree with like the SeaWorld swimming or like resorts where they're kept in cages or, locked in and not free. So that's why I've never done it, but I've always tried to in the wild. If I see a dolphin in the wild, I will jump in the water to try to swim with them. But in my dream, dolphins started coming to this place. So every time I have this reoccurring dream, it's the same thing. I'm in the water with dolphins. So I've gotten so familiar with this dream that whenever I'm at my grandma's house, I will start calling the dolphins. I will go into the water and like tap the water and splash around and wave my hand in the water and the dolphins would come. But most recently, a mermaid came with the dolphins in the dream in my grandma's house where I learned how to swim. And I talked to this mermaid, and from what I can remember, she was basically saying that they have a choice to walk on land or to stay in the ocean, but they need to make this decision before they turn 18 years of age. So I thought that was interesting. And the whole time in the dream, we're talking telepathically. So no one's lips are moving, like you can communicate with the dolphins and the mermaids without physically talking. Which, when I've done research, that's how they communicate on planet Mintaka. I've also had dreams of swimming with orcas, so whales. Like the other night, I had a dream of swimming with a little baby orca, and he was like trying to bite my finger, like a little puppy dog. It was so cute. And then I've had many dreams of huge sharks and teaching myself not to be afraid of them when I'm in the ocean. But the craziest thing that I'm wanting to share with you now, you know that I am claiming to be in a Mintakan Starseed, but I wrote down all of this research yesterday and recorded the video today. This morning, I knew I was going to record this video. This morning, I was in and out of consciousness in my bed, like falling asleep, not wanting to wake up, 8 o'clock in the morning, in and out of sleep. And I kept wanting to go to this place and try to talk to mermaids again. And it was crazy. So this morning, before recording this video, I had a dream that I was at my grandma's house. And as soon as I realized I was at her house, I started patting the water and calling dolphins. And I'm aware of the dream. I do a lot of lucid dreaming, as some of you know, with my astral projection videos. And sure enough, like I heard like dolphin noises, but I felt like something was behind me. So when I looked behind, it was in the neighbor's yard and it was high tide, so you can walk on their cement like deck. But I saw this like blue tail just like really fast, and I knew it was a mermaid. And I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? And I told her I want to research more about mermaids, and would it be okay to like ask her some questions and relay them back to humans? So I was consciously aware that I want to learn more about mermaids on, mermaids that probably came from my home planet. So she was okay with it, but she was beautiful. Like, let me just tell you, she was beautiful. She had this gold crown, like came really low, like gold, and up a little, and blue, dark blue tail, like gorgeous. And it was weird, like as I was talking to her, she transformed into a human because the water was so shallow. She stood up and talked to me. And then now she was like wearing a bathing suit, like you would when you go to the beach, like very human like. And I was so excited that this was happening. I kept trying not to wake up. That's how excited I was. So I was really in and out of it. We didn't really get to have a good conversation. But what I heard from her was that she was born there. So what I got from talking to this mermaid is that they have been reproducing since they have left Mintaka. So they are thriving, and mermaids are still real and alive in other dimensions, right? Would be the astral realm, or when you go to sleep, you can go to higher dimensions. So maybe the 5th dimension or higher, wherever I'm able to talk to them at. So I was super excited and woke up, but it wasn't time to get out of bed yet. So I fell back asleep. And then my second dream this morning was right back into my grandma's house. And this time I did the same thing. I called the dolphins over, like played in the water, and I saw 3 dolphins, their fins coming in the distance to me. And I was so excited. They swam right in front of me, and I pet their backs, as they swam by, and they feel like a dolphin would feel, like hard, but like silky, soft, slimy skin. And I was just petting them and like splashing them and playing around. And I sat at the edge of the dock at my grandma's house at her pier, and this dolphin like propped its head up and was right in front of me. And I said, hi, how are you? But telepathically. And I kept saying, how are you? And it finally said, I'm good. But I was excited about that, woke up, and I went back to sleep. This is where it gets crazy and emotional. I saw a dolphin in the distance, and I wanted to go swim with it. So I got in the water, where I learned how to swim at my grandma's house. And as soon as I got in the water, like 10 to 15 mermaids in the distance popped their heads up to like shoulder length underwater. And they're all just staring at me. And I hear like this screeching, crying sound, like as if it's coming from the mermaids. And I don't know if they all said it at once or just one loud voice, but they were like, you're not welcomed here. I was like, what? They're like, you're not welcomed here. Your kind is not evolutionized enough to like be there. And I said I can't be in the water. And when I said I can't be in the water, this mermaid, one of them, swam up to me so fast and like faced me so close. She's like, this is my water. And I was like, I can't swim here. And she's like, it's my water. And she started like crying, and she was mad. And I was like, what can I do to like have you guys trust me? And she's like, you need to go. And she kept saying, go, go. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I've pissed off the mermaids. So that will be my mission from now on. If I go back there in a dream, is I won't go in the water. I'll just sit on the dock, because obviously that's the smarter thing to do. And then try to talk to them and see where they come from and see why are they mad at humans. Because that's what I got. It was like, I'm a human in the dream, and, they didn't like me being there. But I told them, like, I was born here, like, this is where I learned how to swim, and they just weren't accepting that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. But let's get back to the traits. So other traits is that you're drawn to the Orion's belt in the night sky. So like I was saying about Orion's belt, before I knew it was Orion's belt as a child, I always looked for the arrow in the night sky. So I think it looks like an arrow, and the tip of the arrow would be Mintaka. And then today, or yesterday when I researched, I looked up what are the two stars in the bottom, which would be the line to the arrow. And those are actually Orion's Nebula and another nebula. It's Messier 42 and 43, which I've actually already talked about. And I had no idea that they were actually located in this arrow that I would call, even though it's underneath Orion's belt. Another trait, obviously, if you like The Little Mermaid, I'm pretty sure that movie, if you've watched it at least 10 times, then that's probably a good sign that you're a Mintakan, right? Or Finding Nemo, because I've loved that movie too. So other traits, you have the feeling that you want to go home. So you're always looking at the night sky, and it's a way of connecting with the spiritual home you long to go back for. You have a sense of lostness and you feel different from others, but that motivates you to find a place where you feel loved, wanted, and grounded. Another one, you can see through people's facade or fakeness. Like you can tell when someone's not being their genuine self, and you just can't tolerate it. So anyone who is not authentic, like, gets under your skin, and that's what can make it hard for you to find your tribe. And I am still searching for my tribe. I know some people and we'll always be friends forever, and that's part of your tribe, is it's unbreakable friendship that you'll have for a lifetime. I have a few of those, but I'm still searching for, like, my tribe. You yourself and other people see you as a teacher. So even though you might not be a professional teacher, you are good at teaching, and you love, like, learning new things and knowledge and sharing that knowledge with others. So you believe that everyone has something to offer, and that by sharing positivity and knowledge, you can help bring peace to the world. You feel it is your duty to help others discover more about themselves and the natural world around them. You view life as a never-ending lesson, and you believe there is always something new to learn and experience. You are quick to pick up new skills, hobbies, info, and interests, and you're also quick to share them, feeling a sense of pride as you share it with others. You are often drawn to careers or lifestyles that allow you to help others and animals in a deep and meaningful way. Whether that's counseling, teaching, or medicine, you want to make a difference in the world, and you will. You see the world as a beautiful and harmonious place, and you want to keep it that way. Water is healing, so Mintakans have experienced trauma in their life. So you've definitely went through trauma, which makes you able to connect with others and help others heal, because you can understand and relate to them in a genuine way. Only a couple more, because there's so many traits online. I recommend looking them up. You like spirituality, astrology, you believe in past lives, deja vu, karma, no coincidences, like everything happens for a reason. You know that we are all connected. You love adventure and trying new things. You are positive and you have a positive outlook on everything. So you're a cup half full type of person. You love extremely hard, extremely fast, and deep. You are a lover, and it flows from you so easily and unconditionally, which could be hard for people to understand, like when you're dating as a teenager or younger. Like I was in love with everyone and wanted all the boys. But I've grown to understand, like, how to love in the correct way where everybody is comfortable. So you've come here to spread love and light, and to remind others about their divine nature, that we are love, we come from love, and that's what we're here to do, is to remember that to love each other and to be one with each other, since we are all connected. But you also like to please others. So you're a people pleaser, and you like to bring happiness. Like you always bring happiness to the party, you uplift people, but this comes at a cost, and you could drain yourself extremely fast. So you need to learn to set boundaries and know when to say no, and take some time for yourself to heal and recharge. You have a strong opinion about what is right and wrong. So sometimes you are so opinionated that you come off as pushy or controlling, even though you have good intentions. Lastly, you are friendly, lighthearted, childlike, playful, You have a strong sense of care and protection for nature, the ocean, water, people, animals, and you need to be around nature or live off the grid and not be in a city. And that's what we plan to do, is to live off grid. So let's move on. Some of your gifts is that you're creative, artistic. You are able to speak with animals. So you might know what your dog is thinking or what your dog needs. It's like you can hear animals' thoughts. You are a healer. You're spiritually sensitive, highly attuned. You have great intuition. I do have a video about your psychic abilities if you want to check it out. But if you haven't known already, your mission is to raise planet's vibration, global healing, remind others about their true nature, protect and clean the earth, spread peace, love, and knowledge. Let's move on to probably what you're here for. This video has gotten so long, I'm trying to wrap it up. But let's find the markings in your birth chart to confirm you are a Mintakan Starseed. You don't need these markings if you resonate with them and you have all these traits and everything and you believe in their purpose. You can definitely be a Mintakan. You don't need markings, but it's always nice to have that extra confirmation. First, you're going to need your birth chart. So go to astro-charts.com, fill out all your info, and then your chart will look like this. You want to leave it as is, as tropical at first, since the marking I'm about to give you is a fixed star, which works with tropical astrology. So you want to look at your planets and houses. So the Mintakan star, the fixed star, is exactly at 22 degrees 38 in Gemini. That is for the year of the 2020s. Keep in mind that you can be 1 to 2 degrees away and that still counts as a marking. For example, I have 21 in Gemini in my planets and a 20 in my houses. If you want to take this one step further, if you have 21 or 22, you can see if you have the exact marking at the time you were born based on where planet Mintaka was in the sky. All you have to do, I'm going to have the link below, but you look at the year you were born. For example, this link below will tell you, like, if you're born in the 1980s, the exact marking is 22 Gemini 05. So I definitely recommend, why not check it out to see if you have that exact marking of when you were born with Mintaka. And then let's change it to sidereal. So to change to sidereal, you go to settings at the top, click general, and then change it to sidereal. So the sidereal exact marking is 28 Taurus 30. It will always be that same amount, 28, 30 Taurus. For the sidereal, for example, I have the 26 in my planets, which is 2 degrees away, so that counts. While you're on sidereal, we're using sidereal because it speaks about your higher self. So where you came from and where you will return to. That's why we use sidereal. Tropical is more about your current incarnation now. So you can use either one. As I talked about in my previous video, if you're on Orion, you're probably or might be a Mintakan Orion starseed. So if you have Orion markings in Gemini, you want to look for 11, 16, 17, 19 through 24, 26, or 28 in Gemini. For example, I have 26 in my sidereal, and then I have 15, 21, 13, and 20 in my tropical. So I thought that was crazy. So definitely check both. You can go back and forth. So another source said that if you have any sign with a 0 to 10 degree, that is a marking for Orion or Mintaka. So you want to use sidereal only for this, a 0 to 10 degree. And for example, I have a 6 in Sagittarius. Also, a couple other markings is, since this is a water planet, if you have a lot of water signs, so if you have a lot of Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, you need at least 3 to confirm a marking. For example, I have 5 of those. Like, look at all of those. And then lastly, if your top 3, so you're a sun, moon, or rising, is a water sign, that is a huge indicator. For example, my moon and rising or ascendant is Cancer. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like, I have a ton of markings. So if you are a Mintakan, let me know, because we can start our own tribe. But I hope you liked the makeup I was bringing you guys today. It was so much fun to do this makeup and to wear this dress and to just really show my true self. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you for listening to me reveal my home planet and my dreams, and I will keep working on to contacting with mermaids and dolphins, and I will let you know what I find. So please stay tuned, have a great day, and thank you so much for being here. Bye!